Yeah. What's good, everybody? Nobody do it how he does it. Do not worry, Joe. Don't worry about being with it, big man. You need not fear. It's just I promised I'd go live. I was hoping to have a guest on, but my usuals were not available. So there's no guest. So I just thought I'd jump on for half an hour instead of just doing a quick shit vid for once. So here I am. We're here, we're live, rocking and ready to go, aren't we? Biddly bo, yes, yo, you know what time it is. Get that badger in and on and over here. We had to move back to get his greatness in. Do not fear, Joe. Also, it is not the underlap. The underlap will go ahead tomorrow at 8 as planned, as always, every Thursday. We are back in the routine. I just wanted to jump in and talk a bit about Fulham, really, at weekend. I thought it was a good time to get in there before no, I didn't ask Dave, to be fair, JT. I didn't. And I knew that had come up, to be fair, but I'll get in touch with him with that, I assure you. I'm going to be live more often, so I might see if somebody's available on Friday before I go to work. Yes, smash a like, thank you, brother. Smash a like for us, it helps muchly. But yeah, I thought I'd jump in before the Farker press conference to see what's popping. Also, Harry Gray has been confirmed, hasn't he, that he's got his loan move, which we spoke about yesterday. It was widely known, widely reported that it would be on the move, and he has gone to Rotherham. So Leeds United can confirm exciting prospect Harry Gray has joined Sky Bet League One side Rotherham United on loan to end of the season. 17-year-old has made an impressive start in the under-21s, netting 11 times in 13 matches across all competitions, which is pretty mint in all fairness. Gray made his first team back in the Premier League when Stoke City. Yeah, promotion on the day promotion. Gray made his first team debut for the Whites on the day promotion back to the Premier League was one last. That's terrible. That seems like this is Leeds United's website. Unless I can't read, that seems like terrible English. Gray made his first team debut for the Whites on the day promotion back to the Premier League was won. On the day promotion back to the Premier League was won, right? So it does make sense, but it's a difficult sentence, that. It ain't reading how I'm meant to read it, I don't think. Everyone at Leeds would like to wish Harry all the best time in South Yorkshire. Let's have a look how Rotherham are getting on in general. I think, I think it's a good move, ultimately. Just got thumped 3-0 to Huddersfield. Huddersfield are 5th. Rotherham are 22nd in league, so they are not great. 24 points, not a million miles away from safety, to be fair. But they've lost the last 5 on bounce. So, not looking great. It's not that, JT, to be fair, man. I just ask who I talk to on like a regular basis. So genuinely, I don't know Dave well enough to not ask him on. I'll genuinely get him on. It's just that sometimes, I don't particularly know him, that's all. So I don't talk often to him. Just try to get people on that I can have a general chat with. Yes, the quick shit live streams, AO. You know it, mate. Dale Hodgson, hi, mate. Hope you're good. Great work as usual. Who do you think we need to get playing wise? Yes, indeed, Dale Hodgson. Thank you very much, brother. We're on about this centre back, aren't we? Getting a centre back in. I spoke to Lloyd about it last week, to be fair, on a live. And really, the squad has suddenly come quite good, hasn't it, with the results we've had? So it is just either an injection of a little bit of life going forward, where you just think there's somebody exciting coming into the squad, a winger, or somebody really to back Calvert-Lewin up a little bit up top, and then we can maybe move Peru Parizli on, or, because he would sort of become surplus to requirements, wouldn't he? But a wing back would be a good shout, because, I know we've currently got Bogle, currently got Goodmanson, who are the starters, and then we've got obviously Byram and James Justin, who James Justin looks good and he can play on either side. But obviously Byram's not the best backup going, although, you know, for 15, 20 minutes in a game, you won't begrudge Byram getting some game time. But other than that, you know, Jack Harrison's not proved not to be the wing back that, you know, some of us hoped. Because I sort of hoped, to be honest, that Jack Harrison would be more useful than he has been really this season, but he's not performed in the games that he's. I thought everybody'd get over it and he'd be half decent, you know, just in odd game. It's not really come to fruition, as it's. Joe Depp, who do you give the assist to Gnonto's goal? Be-all or that wicked leave by the main man, Peru Parisley? I know, Joe Depp, it was ace, wasn't it, through legs, just little like, and it's perfectly placed, you know, and he knows, and this not sound daft, but Peru with his goal-scoring prowess, he is extremely well aware that the weight of the ball has enough on it to get through to Gnonto, because it's still got another 5-10 yards to go, hasn't it? Well, 10 yards to go across him. He's got, it's a 20-yard pass, really, 15-yard pass. We'll go 7 yards either side of Peru Parisley. So he's got to know the weight of the ball perfectly, and then, you know, he's got to play it well enough to sort of met the defender know that he's not on the dummy. So yeah, it's unfortunate though it's not Parisley's assist though, is it? It's definitely Be-all's, but it's a lovely bit of play. It's a nice goal that as well all round, to be fair. I enjoyed the last goal as well, Justin's goal. I thought that was a nice goal. And for what it's worth, Tanaka's tappings, you know, I love them. I actually love a good tapping where you've come charging in, not the tapping where it's sort of squared across the goal. I like the tappings where keeper makes a save or whatever, and then they're in, up and at them, in behind. It's nice. Keeper scrambling across. Hit them likes, yes, JT. Thank you, brother. If you could smash a like for us, it's much appreciated. It does help. They're struggling down bottom end. Yes, indeed, they are, yeah. But you never know, to be fair. You know, there won't be a great deal asked of him. We'll probably get some game time. Similar to when Geldart went to Hull, really. Because I panicked about that as a move in general, because obviously they wasn't performing very well. So, yeah. AO says, that's bollocks. We should be giving Gray minutes by bringing him on for the last 10 minutes of a game instead of putting him out on loan. But he won't. He's not ready, AO. He can't be. Farker has proved that he will use players. He's used pretty much every single member of the squad, hasn't he, thus far? They've all had a decent amount of minutes, or certainly had a go at it. You know, in the FA Cup, there were a lot of people calling for him to play in that FA Cup game, and ultimately, you know, Metcha needed minutes. Not that he'd play in Gnonto's position, but Gnonto needed minutes. Harrison, you know, needs minutes in just to put him in, even in a shop window to some extent, which he didn't cover himself in glory, granted. Okafor needs minutes. So it's not like we're devoid of players that need minutes in his position. So if he's either ready, I worry about, I've said it hundreds of times before, but I worry about these players in under 21s in general. It's quite a new thing, this under 21s. I remember when I was about 18, 19, it really seemed to kick on. I don't know how long the under 21s has been going for, but it used to obviously just be called reserves, didn't it? Where you'd be the reserve to the first team, but the under 21s don't operate like the reserves to the first team anymore. It doesn't feel like a feeder into the first team. It's not reserve team football where you'd have like quite a lot of adults playing. Do you know what I mean? And then ultimately, if the under 21s wasn't ready, which is what you deem as the under 21s, if they weren't ready, they'd be away, wouldn't they? They'd be moved on. But I know now, obviously, clubs harness these under 21s and try and make money out of them, try sell them on. And I don't know how successful that is for clubs like Leeds, really, when we're not selling these under 21s on, you know, like Man City can end up getting 25, 30 million for these players when they've played like 2 league games for the club. And I'm not sure whether the state that Leeds are in, I mean that in a good way, you know, the position we're in, I'm not sure that translates just on less money. I don't know how much you get for these sort of players. You know, I've never really looked into it, to be fair. But if you're getting a few 100,000 for them, maybe that is worth the investment of the under 21s, is my point. So maybe it is worth it for them. It no longer feels like a feeder into the first team, would be my takeaway. And then I think it ruins a lot of under 21s, because I think they get used to playing at under 21 level, you know, like all these, you know, international under 21 leagues where, you know, they go around and they're like, well, I've played for Italian under 21s, you know, 15, 20 times. It's like, well, yeah, but, you know, all top players in the world, by the time they're 21, are playing for the national team, aren't they? They're not playing for under 21s. You know, Yamal's not playing for Spanish under 21s, is he? playing for Spanish team, isn't he? So they're not waiting around these players. I know not every youngster has to be as good as Jamal to get in the Leeds United side, but we got on with it with Milner, didn't we? We got on with it with Smith, which kind of your point, to be fair, on Gray. But I just think there's a lot of under-21s, and they don't take them all with squad and stuff. It's becoming increasingly more difficult. Teams don't just want to let them go. They're fearful that they're going to lose out and make a big mistake on players. I think it's probably holding a lot of players back rather than just going, well, I'm off to wherever they go, I'm off for first team football. And if they end up in reserves, as I keep saying, it's a feeder. It's still an adult game. You're not playing against a load of under-21s. And I know a few older boys playing under-21s, but it's still an under-21s league, isn't it? It's not a reserve team league. You're not reserved to the first team. So, yeah. Joe Depp, so at least we'll be able to see if Harry Gray makes a difference down the bottom end. Dale Hodgson, but we need to get some backup ones. Injury could change everything. That's my worry, Dale Hodgson, about if we're on about, we joked about it yesterday, but Bogle leaving, then you need a replacement for him. So whether it's 30 million or not, whether you're going to snap people's hand off for 30 million, where you'd say, like, well, that's a decent amount of money for Bogle, isn't it? Still, equally, you then just need to replace him, and then you don't know what you're getting in the door. So, yeah, we definitely, you take a centre-back and a winger, really. Or no, I'd go a full-back, really, and a winger. Although we're not really short of wingers with how we're playing now. I don't know, it's tricky. Farker even admitted, to be fair, in the presser a few weeks ago, that it does sort of, what he's now doing with the formations and how malleable the formations are, it does sort of edit where he would need reinforcements. Darren Elliott, mate, question Gnonto or Okafor? For me, it's Gnonto, far more quality and work rate. Agreed, Darren Elliott. I would fully agree. I think Gnonto's been brushed under the carpet a little bit. I think he's always put 110% in, which is not, and I know people don't like hearing that. That's not to necessarily suggest that Okafor doesn't. But Gnonto definitely puts himself about more, doesn't he? He's more hustly and bustly. He's more irritating. He gets about the pitch more, and he has quality. I think he's different to Okafor in the set. I think Okafor's probably a better player, but we have this argument a lot over here, don't we? Like, what's a better player? Because he's the better player. Has Aronson been a better player than Okafor this season? Which I'm going to open that up to you boys. Because for me, he has. Who's been better? Aronson. Because you wouldn't have said this at the start of the season. But ultimately, Okafor showed against Wolves. I think is that he got a goal against Wolves. I don't think Okafor's been particularly terrible. But I just think Gnonto's... We also know what we're getting from Gnonto as well. You know what he's like. You know that he's decent in front of goal. You know that he can beat a man. And he can be quite frustrating. His decision-making last year wasn't great. But again, his stats weren't that bad. So, and I think he's got a high ceiling. I just think Okafor's brand new. And Okafor's a big dude as well. So really, I think, he should be putting himself about a bit more. Putting it on defenders a little bit more. He does when he comes off at bench. He did when he came off at bench. Honestly, all games are mashing into one. But it was all right when he came off at bench the other week. But Gnonto's been brilliant off at bench. And I remember when Aronson and I don't know who came on, but I know Aronson came on. It might have been him and Gnonto against Liverpool. Let me look that up. Because that changed the game. That Aronson were brilliant. And then we just had so much energy, and then Stat came on leaps and bounds in that game. One about the home game. So Ampadu and Gruev came off. Gnonto and Aronson, yeah. And Tanaka, to be fair. Obviously Tanaka got the equaliser, didn't he? But, Okafor came off. So for Gnonto and Aronson, and they were just brilliant when they came on. They completely changed the game. Oh my lord. Straight out of fridge. But yeah, you wouldn't have said that at the start of the season. How much better than Aronson's been than Okafor. And particularly in them first couple of games, I thought Okafor had quite a bit about him. And he does want to beat his defender and stuff, which I am an advocate for. But so does Gnonto. So I think the equals really on the ball. You know, I think Okafor's a bit more flashy than Gnonto, but Gnonto's proved it at this level as well, whether he frustrates people or not. I do think he's proved it for longer than Okafor. He's still got a high ceiling, I think, Gnonto. He's played a lot of games as well for his age, you know. Yes, Mr. Whitesnake, doing a drive-by, got things to do, places to be. Have a great night. 3-0 Leeds. It rhymes, mate. Love it. Versus Fulham. Have a great week and weekend, people. Cheers, Mr. Whitesnake. If you're about tomorrow for the Underlap, man, it'd be good to see you. Look after yourself. Ass Ripper. I was going to watch the Origami World Championship on TV, but it's pay-per-view. Origami. He's done me as Ass Ripper there. Appreciate you, Ass Ripper. Evening, big man. Mr. Whitesnake, getting the love he deserves. I would not sell Bogle, nor would I, Dale Hodgson. It would be, honestly, counterproductive in my humble opinion. It's totally pointless. Defence and strike force needed to secure strength, says Carol Gill. Agreed. Enforcement's all day long, isn't it, really? You know, I think if we just get another couple of players like we did with the 10 we've brought in, because everybody, like I say, has proved themselves to some extent. Farker has used the full squad. I do also agree with Farker, though, when he talks about you know, the squad harmony. And I don't mean harmony in terms of, I just mean bringing a player in for no real reason, or, you know, and like what Bielsa used to say, like if they're better, they come in, you know. There has to be a level. It ain't just bodies in the door, is it? Or we might as well go into under-21s and bring some bodies in. So there's a Christmas cracker up there, mate. It says cracker on it. Can we sell Perry in a 2-for-1 deal selling Harrison? Well, again, be careful what you wish for, because we might, you know, this happens quite a lot, doesn't it, where we all want players out and then you suddenly think, could have really done with him being on bench, because then when bench starts looking really weak, you know, not the one, is it? Yes, Mingy, how's it going? We get a poll. Yes, indeed, we do. And Aronson's dicking it, to be fair. 85% at the moment saying Aronson, 15% Okafor. So he likes the polls, does AO, doesn't he? Yes, boys. The American boy is getting better matching them together. He certainly is. Got a good feeling for Saturday. You will have, won't you, Mingy? You're off to game, aren't you? Oh, shout out to Ming as well for the super chat, man. Thank you, brother. You're a legend, mate. See you Saturday, mate. Yeets up. Farker and Aronson could make a movie. Unbelievable turnaround. I know. But, you know, rarely in football, it's quite refreshing, isn't it, Emmett, this? Rarely in football do the turnarounds, one, happen, and two, work, because, you know, you're waiting out on these managers or players to turn it round, and it's rare they do. So it's been a bit of a fairy tale, and the fairy tale's not over, because it could all go turgid pretty much at any moment, couldn't it? Starting this Saturday, we could suddenly look really off it and go down the pan. But I do think Farker's a professional bloke, and the players have stuck with him. And that is all I have wanted from the start of the season. I just thought, I don't want to get 20 games in looking at this club thinking, oh, like, even if we're surviving, where do we go from here? Do you know what I mean? It's like, while ever we like this, while ever we're competitive, while ever I think the players are pros and they're behind the manager, I'm there with it. I can support it all day long. I can get on here and I can fight the corner when they're shit, and I don't mind the arguments, and do you know what I mean? But when you're bereft, or, you know, you've been denied any sort of positivity from the squad, from the club that you're looking at, and you just think, oh, it's like I say, like, you know, I still wasn't blown away from the transfer window, but you can't really argue with the 10 we've brought in. They've all featured. It's looking more and more every day like a decent, you know, people were moaning about James Justin saying we'd spent money on him. Well, now people are saying that Bogle don't walk straight back into the side, and rightly so. Justin's been really good. So it's refreshing. Longstaff came into the squad. Nobody wanted Longstaff at the start of the season apart from me. came into the squad, played really well, got a goal, got a couple of goals, scored important goals, played really well against Newcastle, for instance, at home when we were good. They were good. Got injured. Stack went off the boil. Stack come back. Longstaff's to come back. Stack's been brilliant since he's come back. Stack's now the man. Stack's not my best mate. That'll always be Longstaff, but Stack's been brilliant. Goodmanson straight from day one's been brilliant. Okafor, you could argue, but I think there's more to come from Okafor. And I've said this, and I'll say it till I'm blue at face, but you only want him to do one or two things a season, and that'll do me. If you just get a couple of performances out of him, and he helped secure the win against Wolves, that'll do. He got when Calvert-Lewin taps it in, he wins it off the keeper, doesn't he? With that at Chelsea. It's just little stuff like that, little bits like that. Metcher, got it taken away from him with the Notts Forest goal, and then everybody said, well, Metcher was shit. I'm like, yeah, but he got his goal, and that's all I care about. Do you know what I mean? He can sign out for the rest of the game now. It's up to everybody else to sort of muck in. But Aronson, like I say, has done it in many games now. It's getting to the point where it's such a shame because he got it robbed from him against Man United with some terrible goalkeeping from Perry. And he got it robbed from himself against Newcastle, obviously, with the handball. But then to concede again with Perry after that, being 3-2 up, 91 minutes in, and then losing 4-3 is just ruthless league. And it's, down to Perry, really, not wholeheartedly, but ultimately. But Aronson helped, or if not won us the game, or certainly got man of the match against West Ham. It were when he set Calvert-Lewin up against Sunderland, brilliant assist. It's stuff like that. And if he keeps doing it, he's one of our most important attackers now. He's really finding his form, and to be fair, maybe he's needed a little bit of time, because he's been better this year in the Premier League than he was in the Championship last year. But I do think he's gone more direct. I do think Farke's had a word with him, because he did actually mention about being more of like a winger. And I think a winger is in the mind. Do you know what I mean? It's being direct rather than thinking, I play in between the lines and I have to turn a lot and I have to look and I have to scan everywhere. Like, no, just be like a winger. Sort of, have your back to the line, even if you're not next to the right back, and just think, I can only go one way here. Beat the man. And he seems to be doing that, and he's doing things a little bit more efficiently and stuff. So it's good stuff. Yes, Luke, big up, Jack. Get them beers chilled for tomorrow if you go live. You know it, Luke. Get them chilled, mate. I'll definitely be live, mate, tomorrow from about 8. Yes, indeed. Seeing is believing, Emmett, but I know what you mean, says Mingy. Yes, hard style images. Hey up, Chava. Team spirit is at an all-time high with these players. Get Leeds, and you can't ask for any more matched on together. Agreed, hard style images. Love it, mate. Appreciate you, brother. Need another left wing back. We do, certainly, as well, if Jack Harrison goes, and that's not me advocating for bringing him in. Yeah. Don't like to say, but keeper needed, says Dale Hodgson. I think we could just do with Darlow to end the season. Genuinely. We don't need a keeper in January. Darlow will do. Because if you had to stick with Perry, we would do, wouldn't we? So just put Darlow in there. We'll be all right. He might chuck us a couple of games, but you just want someone that can catch ball, don't you? And just make simple saves. I don't want these top bin saves. Don't give me any of them. If it is top bin, let it go in. That rhymes, but I mean it. And if it don't, save it. Fix Jack's, fixed it. What do you mean? Seeing Harrison's house is up for sale on Rightmove. Hasn't it been up for sale for donks, though, to be fair? Everybody loves this line, don't they, Darren? It's been on sale. He's not been at the club for donks, has he, really? Ming says he's moving to Ellen Road. Yes, Richard Todd, evening, Jack. The system has worked better for Aronson. Don't think Noah is a number 10, pal. Was it you that mentioned that the other day, Richard Todd? I thought that was somebody mentioned it, and I should write down who mentions the comments, because I don't always remember in my next video. But it was a really well-made comment, to be fair, because he has sort of gone off the boil slightly ever since he's been asked for this 10 role, or because he still wants to drift wide, and he still does go wide. But I think he gets a bit more of a free role, because Aronson's also been in the squad when Okafor's in there. So This is where the argument comes in, where people think it's 4-3-3 or 5-2-3. It's so malleable, the formation at the moment. And when Aronson's in the side, he can do a little bit of both, can't he? I mean, there's points where like him and Stack are further forward than Calvert-Lewin. If Calvert-Lewin sort of gets dragged in, Stack and Aronson will really push on. So Darren Elliott got Bielsa thingy, Bob in his kitchen, gives it away. Got Bielsa thingy, Bob in his kitchen. You what, big man? Stripper, haha. No, Ming, I got it today. Gonna send it to Justin. He won't understand it either. I don't know what's going on here. Aronson on a different trajectory to Noah's Ark. That's very poetic, Roger Slicker, particularly coming from such an argumentator. The only thing Okafor has shown is he's not a £25 million player. Well, this is it, though, AO, is he? Because what do you get for 25 mil? Because, we got Calvert-Lewin for free. Everybody wants these big summer signings, and then when you get them, people piss and whinge about the 25 million being spent on them. We got Calvert-Lewin for free. People were moaning about that they're doing it on cheap. Bloke's been a beast. I've said fucking on this channel forever, sorry, Badger, money don't make my world go around. Don't matter how much money you spend in these windows. It's how good, it's how clear the window is after all the shit's hit it. Once everybody's throwing all the shit and all the mud at the window, if I can still see clearly out of it, it's a good window. So let's go into January, and if we don't spend a penny and bring a free in, and he gets 5 goals to end the season, it's world-class work. If we spend 40 million on somebody that gets 10 goals, it's world-class work. If we spend 40 million on somebody that can't move, it's horrendous work. I could throw money away. Throwing money away is not the difficult part of the window. When people say January is a tough window to get players in, it's not due to the fact that, there isn't money to be spent or there isn't players to buy for silly amounts of money. Normally, the transfer value is inflated because it's in January and teams know and players know that teams need certain players. So you're out there looking for them. You can't sort of work under the radar like we did in the summer, getting players and just sort of snapping them up and, bringing them in thick and fast at one point. And they don't really know who you're after. And, you might have a few targets. It's a much more closed window, isn't it? Where players are sort of like know the roles. I think, well, no, I'm still getting a little bit of game time at Fulham. So I'm going to stick with Fulham, really, unless something big comes in. It's like, well, Fulham are like, well, we kind of need him again on this thing where it's like, we replace him. How am I going to replace him when he does play like 4 out of 10 games? So we need somebody that can do a job for us. You're offering 15 million. Like, no, that's not going to be enough. You can have him in summer for that, but not in not in January, because we still need him. When we've got a chance to replace him in summer, we will do. But at the moment, we're all right with him, And then does he come in? If he plays 4 out of 10 games for Fulham, does he come in and play every single game for us? No. And Farker won't want to do that. So unless you're buying somebody that's absolute stone wall, excellent player that just walks into the side, he's not going to want to do it, really. And I don't disagree with that. So you're looking to bolster, but you want to bolster with the view in mind of next season as well, don't you? Where you go, right, I've got this player in because I think by the time we get to the end of the season, he's gonna be a first team player. Because how much are you willing to spend on somebody that just is there surplus to requirements? And then what do you do with him at end of the season? Do you move him on? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. That's why loans will be quite good in January. But, it's tricky. Well, it's not tricky. The window's tricky, but yeah. Richard Todd, for the first time against Derby, you see the difference between the squad and depth. We are Premier League, as the song goes. Love it, Richard Todd. And I fully agree with that, mate. I actually agree with that on many levels. I think Dr. Farker has got it sorted as well, though, with that. That felt like a Dr. Farker performance at weekend for me. Like, zero panic. There was a bit of frustration when they scored the goal as well. Gnonto threw his arms up. You could tell he was a bit pissed off. It's like, no, come on. We'll be all right. Get on ball. We played well up until then. We've missed a penalty. Zero panic. Not that there'd be panicking as really in general in FA Cup, but you know, it was a proper solid Premier League. Like say, we play a certain way now, and it's like, and we haven't changed too much from our Championship form anyway. So, you know, I know we play a different version of it, and we have to muck in a little bit more. But if anything, that's just made us stronger. Because when it's come to them playing ball, playing football like we had the opportunity to against Burnley, against Derby, they were more than capable of like getting comfortable in that role, weren't they, and just moving the ball and thinking, well, we've got all possession. This is easy. We're used to being competitive now. It's playing at that level, isn't it, all the time, playing at that intensity all the time. And we have been doing. So let's hope we can get into the weekend and carry it on. Ming says refreshing is the right word, Jack. Lost the game after being ahead 3 times and losing. And even the haters are okay. I know. Oh, mental. Everyone always said Aronson just needed to stop falling over so easily. Well, he has, and looks promised fulfilled. Yes, Vega. Vega getting the love he deserves. Davy's staying at home making fudge sticks waiting for a call. Big Dave. Goalkeeper, left back 10 and striker upgrades all needed. An upgrade on DCL needed. An upgrade on Goodmanson needed. We don't have a 10. We don't need a 10. JT's only one JT getting the love he deserves. Michael PK says Aronson does a good job of covering Gabby and Bogle if they get forward. They can interchange with ease. Absolutely, Michael PK. That's what he gives you. And the brilliant thing is he's giving you stuff going forward as well now, which is, you know, prior, that would be the argument that he wasn't doing enough of. And he's legit doing enough now. I mean, them 2 goals against Newcastle are like, I don't know if anybody else is taking them 2 chances on the pitch. On the pitch, never mind in the squad. The best player in the league, man. Which was my call on the live watch along, which was funny enough. I don't think Farker will do it all in this window, and we'll have to wait until the summer. I agree. I can see clearly now the rain has gone. Yes, boys. Minging in the rain. I'm minging in the rain. Stopping for a bit. Get that crown off and gone. And on over here. I do want to talk about, because that's why I'm here, I do want to talk about Fulham. Because they've been playing really well of late, to be honest. I mean, I don't know how many games they're unbeaten in, but they've been on one hell of a run. So if you remember, they were actually struggling down the bottom with us boys at one point, and they have turned it round. And this is the power of going unbeaten in this league for about 7 games. Jimenez is decent. Smith Rowe, I actually like. Smith Rowe's not ripping any trees up with his numbers or all, but I do sort of like Smith Rowe. And then obviously Harry Wilson, who's having a hell of a season. He must be their top goal scorer, I've no doubt. I mean, he's scoring like outstanding goals as well, getting odd assist. You know, he must be in double figures for goals and assists combined. I don't think Leno's a bad keeper. Kearney, you know, they're a decent side, aren't they? That Kevin coming off at bench, everybody likes to tell me that, you know, he needs to be terrified of. They've got Adama Traore, which is always a brilliant talking point for this on this channel. Harrison Reed scored a worldie in it other day, so you know they're in hella form. And for what it's worth, and I don't really care, but Silva's a good manager, isn't he? So, you know. Obviously, we played really well away from home against them, didn't we? And then it went. Goodmanson had a guff, didn't he, last minute? They beat Middlesbrough 3-1 in FA Cup, but let's ignore that for the sake of it. They beat Chelsea 2-1. They drew with Liverpool 2-2. This is all going backwards. Drew with Crystal Palace 1-1. Again, 3 brilliant results from there. Beat West Ham 1-0. Everybody beats West Ham. Beat Notts Forest 1-0. Lost to Newcastle, but that was in the EFL Cup. Beat Burnley 3-2, and then they lost to Crystal Palace 2-1, lost to Man City 5-4, which is a mad game, beat Tottenham 2-1, beat Sunderland 1-0, and then, you know, then the form becomes slightly indifferent. But so they've gone on a hell of a run, really. They're a testament, you know, that's what I'm saying. If we can carry on, we can just go on another run. I said this at not at the start of the season, when we've been on this 9-game unbeaten run or whatever it ended up being, however many games it ended up being. We've only got to do that again, and then we can sort of amble to the end of the season, can't we? If we do this for another 9 games, that puts us on 31 games. That leaves us with 7 games left. How mad's that? And then I honestly think we can just amble to the end of the season and maybe get dicked every game. We need 9 big games now, don't we, where we're picking up points. If we pick up points in 9 more games, we've done it. It's a mad thing. You know, I still maintain we're 4 points off Bournemouth. Bournemouth were, you know, the team to watch 2 months ago when we, when we drew with them, actually, funnily enough, at our gaff. And now they've obviously gone off the boil. They've been in really poor form. They've done like the opposite of what Fulham have done. That's what I mean. You can start off well enough. Sunderland are now in 10th, but they're going to, they've drawn loads. They've drawn 4 of the last 5, lost 1 in the last 5. So again, they'll amble towards end of the season. Now they've done it because they've had sort of 9 better games than us, haven't they? We're on 5 wins, they're on 9 wins. We've got 7 draws to be fair, which is a bit mad. Only lost 9 games. Sunderland have lost 5. It's mad. So we've just got to do it 4 or 5 more games. Just keep this run going, and we'll be absolutely in the mix. Mumra reckons there's 3 teams wanting Gnonto, and Everton are one of them, but should slap a £70 million tag on Gnonto. Keep the vultures away. Everton have been after Gnonto ever since I can remember Gnonto being at the club. Honestly, Everton seem to be after whenever these tabloid things come out. Everton are all. It's literally like I could read these articles without even reading them half at time. If he ends it, because it's also Bogle's off to Everton. That was the call, wasn't it? Bogle's off to Everton. Gnonto's off to Everton. Every player we were looking at in summer window, Everton were in for him as well, and then they all ended up going to Sunderland. So Okafor hugs the white line, one-dimensional, better than Aronson, but can flatter to deceive sometimes. I don't think hugging the white line's a bad thing for a winger, though, Roger, in fairness. But Richard Todd, it's a good sign when we go to Newcastle and lose 4-3 in the last minute. That's down to Farker and the team spirit. Agreed, Richard Todd. And like I've said, because we've been so good for so many games, it wasn't disheartening, were it? And the reason why I say that is if we'd have been not picking up results and gone and done that, I think it'd actually be more worrying than even playing shit. And you just think, well, we were shit today. We were really good there, but we've been getting results. It's not like we've been that good for 10 games and we've won a game. Do you know what I mean? And we keep getting on the wrong end of these mad games. It won't be. That's not the way forward, is it? Obviously, but you know what I mean? It's like it wasn't even disheartening. It was exciting. So for score, Okafor, that rhymes. Howard Bowden, how's it going? 1.6 successful dribbles per 90, and Gnonto is 0.1. How fair is that in terms of minutes, though? Fulham on fire, says Ming. Yes, Matt Leeds, what's good, big man? People are trying to say because he was okay versus Derby, Gnonto should be starting. And then you ask who drops out. They have no idea. People just want something to complain about. I agree, Matt Leeds, to be fair, man. I think in all fairness as well, Gnonto changes the game when he comes off the bench into a 4-3-3, doesn't he? You're not really going to want to stick him out wide, in behind Calvert-Lewin, which people have been calling for, but I'm not too sure about it. I want to get you on as well, Matt Leeds, as well. I'll message you tomorrow, mate. I should have messaged you today, to be fair, Matt. Sorry, man. Contain Harry Wilson, says Vega. Look at the points they got in the last 5 games. I know, man. They have seen people talk about Fulham like we should win easy. I know, Matt Leeds. It's thinking from a few months ago, I think. They've been on absolute fire. They're unbeaten I just went through games. But to be fair, our win probability is 42%. Theirs is only 29%. So the bookies must be going with us. Now, I'm only doing this through Google because I don't go on any betting websites. But that's what the win probability is, and 29% draw at the moment. Willie comes in for Brendan Aronson, no brainer. That's mental, JT. You got to put some Brendan Aronson. You got to put some respect on his name, brother. Drop VA at this point. Can't have that, mate. He's been unreal, man. In Farker trust, and you know it, Ming. Let's talk about Fulham. We're going to beat them and earn 3 points. Be a massive 3 points. I do want to perform, play well, and get something from the game on Saturday, as good as Fulham have been. I do want that. Obviously, I would anyway, but I just mean, I want to keep this home form, the fortress going, Don't think Farker fully trusts Gnonto or Tanaka defensively for some games. I think he trusts Tanaka. I agree with you though, Howard Bowden. I do agree with you. I do think he trusts Tanaka, but I know what you mean with Gnonto. I think there's an element of him. It's not even necessarily a trust thing, but I do fully agree with what you're saying. I'm trying to find another word other than trust, but basically I'd be saying the same thing, Howard. So I do agree. I think there's certain things he likes in players that maybe, with the greatest respect to us lot, we don't really know exactly what he's looking at all times. Because, I certainly watch the game in a different way than Dr. Farker does. And Dr. Farker definitely looks at it in a more intellectual way than I do. So, he's definitely looking at, there must be little nuances in players that he's just not, he can't quite subscribe to, like, fully in terms of trust. Howard, agreed. Arsenal 1-0 up, yes indeed. Who scored goal? Don't bother me, leg. Ben White, first leg, I'll watch second legs of them. Is Muniz out, 30 million. Looks like we'll have to stick with DCL. Great signing on a free. And you know it, Richard Todd. And you know it, mate. Daniel Parker has to prove he can keep us up. He's on the prove, mate. He's on the prove. Dale Hodgson, looking forward to Fulham game. Come on, great show, mate. Smash those likes. Thank you, Dale. I appreciate you, man. If you could smash a like for us, guys, it does help the algorithm. I will be live tomorrow at 8 for the underlap. We'll have a few beers and talk some shit. And I fucking love doing that, don't I? Not even had a drink tonight, so there's no excuse for that. I'm off to football soon. I'm definitely not drinking. I get too trigger happy with comments, end up sliding myself out. Sliding on out of here. Told you lot in December, Harry Gray loan, Aronson, Meslier too. Gnonto will be playing more if he was a fave, says Arse Ripper. Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. For Aronson to be genuinely accepted, he's got to play 200 games and receive 8.5 out of 10, like Stack Boyer, Strachan Boyer, and Kuhl. 8.5 out of 10. I don't think it'd be enough for Aronson to be appreciated. Arsenal won up. He didn't want to play for us when we went down. He's had 3 good games all season. Everyone's sucking him off. I don't get it. Yeah. I would. Farker doesn't have favourites. He picks the players who he feels are most suited to the job, in my opinion. I agree. This favourite things is just stupid, isn't it, Howard? Ultimately, the players that play the most, if you had to say, in layman's terms, they are obviously his favourites. But he's not literally like, I just like that guy, so I'm playing him. It's definitely not a favourite thing. I think he backs players that he believes in, obviously, as they all do. He's had 3 good games, that's it. One's about so did Bamford, and everyone wanted rid. I didn't want rid of Bamford, so I wish the Bamford thing had please just I wish the Bamford stuff had stop. He's not at the club anymore. We don't I can't believe I still have to talk about Bamford. I defended him for long enough. I'm done now. The most important person at the club is Farker. Trust him. He is a better manager than so many give credit for. I agree. 78 RPM strikes again. You know it. I hope Okafor is our Cristiano 7. Dubious with too many step overs, and then it's top gear. Easy way to keep Harry Wilson quiet against us in the future is to buy him. Hopefully that don't keep him quiet though, Ming. You want to buy him and then And then, he starts making headlines, don't you? 16.6 mil. Okafor. I'm just hoping Ellen Road is up for the Fulham game. Small team by name, but a consistent Premier League club and well-run and managed match done together. Agreed, Richard Todd. I think it will, because I think everybody's looking forward to getting back to football, really. I know we've had in a game, but after that Newcastle loss as well, I really wanted, I want the cup run, don't I? But I really wanted us just to get back into, back on the bandwagon, basically, back up and at it. No, Mark Bradley, do not fear. We'll still be live tomorrow, mate. I'm just jumping in for half an hour. Well, I've been on 45 minutes, to be fair, by accident. Yeah. Gnonto didn't want to play for us. He legit refused to try get a move to Everton. Do people forget? No, they don't, to be fair, Matt. But, have you forgot? Because it is what it is now, isn't it? It's just about playing the best players. But not that I think Gnonto is. I think Farker's got it. Dr. Farker's got it absolutely bang on at the moment. Everyone's saying sign Harry Wilson. Are now quiet as a mouse. Don't sign Harry Wilson. Yeah, sorry, Ming. Yeah. Some say Pep is building for another 5 years of dominance. Just one marquee signing, and I saw this one marquee signing away. I don't know where that's all from, but Farker, the man, and you know it. Dr. Farker at the helm. Bumford has a good scoring record at Sheffield United compared to his scrappy and consistent performance for Leeds. Talking about Bamford again. Bamford was the man. It doesn't really matter, though. This is what I mean, JT. Who cares? But who cares? Do you know what I mean? He's been excellent this season. End of story. I don't care. It's like I support Leeds. I don't care whether Aronson is Aronson or he's your best mate or he's a dickhead or whatever. I just couldn't give a fuck. Or 78 RPM. You're a legend, mate. Willie, AO and JJ goal bonus. Let's win the FA Cup. I can't believe we're even doing the goal bonuses in the FA Cup 78 RPM. Your strikes again, mate. I appreciate you. Shout out to you. Each every which one of you, as you well know. It's not that I don't care, JT, and I appreciate you care, but I still don't think it matters if he's winning his games, which he is doing. If he's playing well, and if in truth, although it's only had 37 votes, 84% of the people believe that Aronson is bringing more to the side than Okafor is this season. So whether you think Aronson's good or not is kind of irrelevant, if you feel me. But yeah, that's my shit vid, guys. I'm going to do one because I will be live for the marathon tomorrow, as we always do for the underlap. And I might do a shit vid as well tomorrow. So I'm trying to do a few more. I'm trying to do 2 or 3 lives a week, try to get a guest on. At least once a week, get a guest on and going live, obviously. And then doing as many shit vids as I can. I won't be live for the game on Saturday because I will be there at the Fulham game. But I might do, even though my watch along, not my watch along, but my match review of the away game actually got a bit of abuse because I said, it was amateur or something, which I don't think anybody's been on the channel before, because that is exactly what it is. It's amateur hour, in it, over here. Oh, Mark Bradley, handing them memberships out like he's Santa Claus. Thank you, Mark. You're a legend, mate. Appreciate you. I appreciate every which one of you. Thank you for joining me. It's legendary. Steve Morrison says Okafor started the season well, but has stagnated. I agree. Some have said due to the change in formation, which I wouldn't be adverse to agreeing with. Ideology. Thank you, Mark. You're a legend, mate. Shout out to Ming for the super chat. JackCity on a Wednesday bonus. I appreciate you, brother. 78 RPM for the goal bonuses, even though they're FA Cup goal bonuses, but you're a legend, mate. And Mark Bradley for handing out them memberships like he's Santa Claus. So I appreciate you. If you could smash a like for us on your way out, guys, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed and all that stuff. Take it easy, everybody, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the underlap. Let's go. In a beat.
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.